You know what's kind of funny to me is the fact that so many times when it comes to this whole console war thing, we have a situation where Sony really kind of forgets the things that they've done or the things that they currently do. It's almost like they expect a different type of, I don't know, a different set of rules for PlayStation, right? Like, oh, they're Sony. You know, they're PlayStation. They've been around before Xbox. They should be allowed to do what they want, dictate what they want, say what they want. And the fans, unfortunately, have sort of picked up this mantra and go about it the same way. And I'm over here scratching my head like, listen, imagine a world where, McDonald's gets to say whether a Burger King can move in next door. Or, a McDonald's can say what Burger King can offer on their dollar menu. Right? Or a Wendy's can offer on a... Like, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd to think what's going on in the industry right now. And even more absurd that, some of these regulators, which almost seem ill-informed about the video game industry, think that Sony suddenly wouldn't be able to compete, right? And I've done different videos about this, and to me, it's just one of those things that I can't believe that this is even still a topic or that this is happening, right? Like, it's blowing my mind. It is. It's really kind of blowing my mind. But today's announcement, and you have PlayStation fanboys crying, and I'm scratching my head like, are you freaking serious? How can you guys be mad about this when Sony literally is doing this all the time? They do it all the time. Literally, all the time. A ton of games. How can they be pissed off about this? The hypocritical nature of this is just infuriating. It really is. And, I don't want anything bad to happen to Sony or anything like that. I'm just saying, this is pretty damn ridiculous. With that being said, I do want to jump into this right now because I find it to be a fascinating topic, and I can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts on this because I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. So, hey everybody, I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews, your home of, pretty much everything. So, leave a like on the video because that's super, super important going forward. Now, I think we can all think of different video games where, maybe there was a multi-plat and maybe there was a situation where, we saw, a thing where, maybe one of these teams had, some kind of marketing deal with it or whatever, right? So, what's interesting is that Sony has done this multiple times and nobody said a word about it. So, as you guys know, the Persona series, which I personally don't care about, but, it's coming to Xbox, so it's a big deal for folks that never got a chance to play it. And, it's one of those things where it's shaping up like, Microsoft is going to get a big push with these games. Now, there's PlayStation fans that are thinking they get sold the short end of the stick as an Xbox deal reveals native ports. So it's interesting. Atlas and Sega, according to this article, which I will link, are clearly in bed, says this article, with Xbox for upcoming Persona ports, and we've known it for a while. Not only are the new versions of Persona 5 Royale, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 3 Portable coming to Game Pass, while PlayStation users have to pay with no upgrade path, Microsoft even managed to place embargoes on key announcement deals. So, when the ports were first revealed, nothing was allowed to be said about their release on non-Xbox or PC platforms, namely PS5, PS4, or the Nintendo Switch. And again, just recently, Atlas was seemingly unable to mention these same platforms on social media when it confirmed the release dates of Persona 3 Portable and Golden. It instead used the catch-all term modern platforms, while the related graphics only showed Xbox logos. So yeah, Xbox and Atlas sitting in a tree, but the deal actually goes further than they thought. As per Gamatsu, Xbox Series X and S is getting native versions of Persona 3 Portable and Golden. Meanwhile, the games are limited to the PS4. On the PlayStation side of thing, there won't be any PS5 ports, at least not yet. In truth, this could be a non-issue. It's not like these ports of a PSP game and a Vita game respectively will have much more to offer on current-gen hardware, or so you'd think. It's yet another instance of PlayStation users being sold short thanks to a deal that's in place between Microsoft and Atlas Sega. So again, complaining about this, but need I go any further to kind of go about this and kind of announce that, hey, guess what? You know what? I'm calling kind of nonsense on it, because you can go back and look at most deals. Let's look at Destiny, for instance. Microsoft had to advertise the Destiny cologne. They weren't even allowed to say Destiny is on Xbox, right? Do you guys remember that? And if you want something even closer than that, or more current than that, when the PlayStation 5 and Xbox One launched a couple of years ago, there was a Yakuza Like a Dragon game that was, I believe, a situation where a certain version of it was exclusive for like 6 months or something like that, or whatever. But even with stuff like Street Fighter, or when you see like the newest one or whatever, I think that we see that is another instance very much like that. Now listen, games will come and go, and these type of things will, kind of iron themselves out, I have no doubt. But, it's just kind of funny to me that Sony, who, pays for exclusivity and has done this for multiple years, and it just is kind of ironic to me that there's a lot of fanboys out there that are kind of crying over this, and at the same time, it's like, well, do you want Sony to be the only ones allowed to do any of this stuff, or is fair? Like that's what I would like to know, to be quite honest with you. I feel like so many times people just kind of try to hate on Microsoft for whatever reason, and they just want Sony to be allowed to do this or that or the other thing, and I find it to be pretty much sort of a bad look in general. So I don't know, like I said, this is just one of those things to me where it's very frustrating to see. And again, for Microsoft, I feel like Microsoft is damned if they do, damned if they don't at this point. It's like people wanted them to compete, but then when they started buying up publishers, they're like, oh no, well don't compete like that. We wanted you to compete this other way, and so you're just kind of left like kind of scratching your head or whatever. And honestly, to me, that's nothing short of frustrating, because it's like, okay, ridiculous to point out that, hey, you know what, Microsoft can't do things the way that Sony does them because it upsets people. Like that to me is just completely asinine. And I'm hoping that it's just terrible, in my opinion. I just think it's just one of those things that really kind of is more annoying than anything. So yeah, I do hope that Microsoft continue to do things to fight. Don't be deterred by Sony and their fear, or the fanboys and their annoying attitudes because you're doing exactly what PlayStation does, but they don't like it because it's being done to them. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous to me. I would love to know what you guys think, though. Please sound off, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.